How y'all doing tonight? Tonight we're going to make a really neat dish, a chicken cordon bleu casserole, or kind of a chicken cordon bleu macaroni and cheese casserole. This is a recipe my wife got off the internet. She wanted me to try. Of course, I'm going to tweak it just a little bit. I think it's going to be really, really good. And of course, like always, not always, most of the time, I do make a little bit more than a single recipe. So you can cut this pretty much in half and just make it a single recipe of it. We'll give it a try. It sounds really good though, and it's something you can kind of do ahead of time, and you can save, you can pop it in the oven later and bake it off, and I think it'll be real good. What we're going to start off in this recipe with is we're going to make a roux basically. What I got here is 2/3 stick of butter. We'll use that to melt it down just a little bit. I'm going to add about 2/3 cup of flour, maybe just a hair less. And we're going to get that stirred in. We're going to just make this a roux, a blonde roux at that. You don't want, we don't need a dark roux or anything. This is basically kind of how we start out making a homemade mac and cheese, kind of deal like that. So we'll go ahead and keep this stirring. This pot's too big to use my roux stirrer, but I'll use the silicone spatula and it'll work real good. Okay, now I got this roux been cooking here for a couple minutes, stirring it constantly. That's the way you gotta do with this roux. I'm gonna start adding a little bit of milk, just whole milk here. A little time, you want to add cold milk, cold whole milk, and stir that in. Add that there. I'll have 5 cups total. Which is ended up being this quart container here, and then 1 extra cup. We'll keep stirring this around, adding the milk little bit by little bit. And on about a medium heat, or medium high heat, I've added all this milk, and I'm just stirring it around every minute or so. And I'm gonna let this milk heat up till it starts to simmer. Okay, now that the milk started to get heating up there, and you can see it's thickening up a little bit because of that roux, and that's the way the roux works. Put a cold liquid in there. It's still pretty thin, but once it heats up, it starts thickening up. Before it gets too thick, I'm going to start adding some of the cheese. What I got here, I got some gorgonzola. It's about 5 ounces of gorgonzola. You could use blue cheese, just basically what gorgonzola is. This type of blue cheese. So we're going to stir that in. I want to melt that down into this sauce. It's going to be real good. It's going to give it a little punch. I'm going to keep stirring that cheese in. In fact, what I may do now, I'm going to add some of this other cheese. I've got 2 cups of Italian style cheese. I got this from Walmart. Kraft makes it. It's just a mixture of like mozzarella, provolone, parmesan, fontina, Asiago, stuff like that. I put in about 2 cups of that. And we'll just stir that up until we mix that. Now I've got 2 more cups of that, and I've got 5 more ounces of the gorgonzola. Once this gets mixed in, I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Okay, that first batch of cheese has melted. We'll go ahead and start putting the rest in with the gorgonzola. Look at that. Wow, look at this stringy cheese sauce. I mean, that stuff is wonderful. That's awesome. Go ahead and get some more Italian style down in there. You got me. This reminds me, I watched old John Hollow on his channel. Made some macaroni and cheese the other night, and it kind of reminds me of this. I tell you, it was awesome looking mac and cheese. I mean, he poured that cheese sauce on there, and it was just like this. It was thick and just stringy cheese. Wow, this is absolutely awesome looking. I'm going to keep stirring this. I'm going to turn my heat down because I don't want to burn the cheese. And we're just going to keep stirring this until it gets all the lumps out and all the cheese melted. Now that I've got this melted down pretty good, I'm gonna put this on the back burner off the heat real quick, and I'm gonna move to the next step. Got me a skillet out. Still do about medium-high heat. Got me about 8 ounces of olive oil. Let's get that heated up for a second. Okay, now that I can smell the olive oil, it's getting fragrant, I'm go ahead and add a little bit of minced garlic. Stir it around, don't let it burn. Just let it expel some of that goodness into that oil. Make a nice garlic infused olive oil there, and roast this garlic up just a little bit more. Now I've got about 3 pounds of pulled chicken here. Some chicken I just baked earlier and pulled it apart. Let's just kind of stir this around and just kind of get that good olive oil mixed in with this chicken. It's just a good way to infuse some flavor in here. Also, where is it? Hold on. Now would be a good time to add a little bit of sloppy mama. That's what I was looking for. Open up. What the heck wrong with you? Can't see good pulled chicken like that and not add a little bit of good flavor to it. Add sloppy mama, just Cajun seasoning, whatever you got. And that's basically garlic, red pepper, a little black pepper, stuff like that. For those of you who can't get the Cajun seasoning or never heard of it, you don't have to put that in there. That's just a little bit of my own touch. So I think I'm about done. You know, this chicken sauteed good here. I think we'll set this to the side too. I just wanted to get that good garlic infused oil up in there. Okay, now we're back to the mother pot. What I'm gonna call this, the mother pot. The pot with all that goodness cheese in there. Oh yeah. Turn the heat up to about medium. And we're going to get this cheese nice and just really creamy and melted. I'm going to start to add some stuff to it. I'm going to add, this cheese is nice and heated up. Add about 1 pound of this Black Forest ham I had sliced in at the deli. And I cubed up a little bit. I'll add that to it. Stir that in. That'd be good. I'll kind of give it the Cordon Bleu for the whole deal. Now let's add some chicken. Let's add that chicken we sauteed up. It smells great. It really smells like garlic. I was just thinking, let's make this a chicken cordon bleu, maybe like a Florentine, where we add some spinach. That'd be a good little dimension to this dish. So I got some spinach over here. I just heated up just some frozen spinach, about 1.5 boxes of it or so, and kind of drained it. Let's add that. I bet that'll give us a little depth of flavor. Add a little color to it as well. Oh yeah, that. Look at that. It's like a wonderful dip right there. I could just dip a chip in that and be happy. Let's get that all nice and mixed up. Now, we got to decide what we're going to put in there as a starch. With this recipe, I think the best thing is a pasta. When I found this Redditori here. Thought that'd be interesting. Just kind of a different shape pasta, something kind of small. I got that at Walmart, so you can get it anywhere. Let's go ahead and add that. Had some pre-cooked al dente. You don't want to cook it too much. And put a little olive oil and a little Italian seasoning on afterwards. Italian seasoning just to season it up, of course, but olive oil to keep it from sticking together. And that's a great little thing to have done beforehand. Now I'm going to mix that in. We're going to get on with this recipe. Just fold this in here like so. Look at that. Wow. Now, what I want to do is put this in some Pyrex. Then we're going to think about a topping. Oh yeah. Already got me a Pyrex here. Put some ham in there, something to grease it a little bit. You don't want everything to stick. And pour some of this goodness in there. Wow, that's some awesome looking stuff. Just want to make me a big bowl of it right now. Not even baking in the oven. And we'll spread this out. And I know I got one more enough for another Pyrex, so I'll be right back. All right, once you get your casserole pans filled, we're going to start making that topping. Oh, by the way, I got my oven preheated to 350. Start out putting a little bit of olive oil in the skillet. You can roll with that. Let's let that heat up just a hair. We'll go ahead and put in some Italian breadcrumbs, because you gotta have breadcrumbs. You gotta have some sort of breading. That'd be real good. Let's mix this around. Let's heat this up. Gotta fry these breadcrumbs. Get some real goodness going. You know, we've let the breadcrumbs toast for a minute or two. Go ahead and add a little Parmesan cheese. That'll give it some good flavor. Now we'll turn off the heat. Stir in this Parmesan. We'll go over next door, right over here to the counter, and put it on top. Okay, we'll take this mixture, if it's not just molten hot, and just sprinkle it over the casserole. Give it a nice little coat. And this will give it a little bit of crunchiness on top. It'll also add the taste of that cheese. It's going to be some real good stuff. Now that I got the breadcrumbs and the cheese on there, not too thick, just sparsely on there, just like that. We'll go ahead and pop them in that 350 oven for about 20 minutes. It's been 20 minutes, so let's see how they're doing in there. Oh, look at that. Nice and bubbly. That's what you want to see. I'm going to go ahead and pop them out. Let's see how this one turns out. Get a little square out over here. It smells wonderful. You can hear that little crunch. Try to lift that on out of there. I've let it sit a minute or so just like you do any kind of casserole type dish like this. So let's just see how she tastes now. Okay, let's give it a taste. Some of that crunchy crust on there. Chicken, that good ham. Oh man, but you gotta try this. This is fine, I'm telling you. A1. Give it a try. Chicken Cordon Bleu Casserole.